more for you, you feel it. You know it. This is your life, and it's time to go from contender to champion. This is the show. John Madsen.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm your host, John Madsen. Super excited to be here, guys. This is the second to last show of 2020. What a fucking year. And we are here. It's Christmas. In a couple days after this recording, this will be released, I think, probably on Christmas. So this episode can be listened to over the holiday. But before I dive into how to create your own personal championship blueprint for 2021, I'm going to give you 5 tips, 5 things for you to focus on, 5 things for you to think about this weekend so that you can master plan your 2021 to take your health, fitness, and business to the next level. I want you to head on over to johnmadsen.com. It's a new website. You can get on my VIP newsletter list, which is awesome. I don't email a bunch of BS. If you get on that list, you'll only get the newsletters and any notifications about this show. More importantly, there is a program that I've been running for a little over 2 years, all virtual, all over the world. We have members literally almost in every state now. The Athletic AF CEO Project for men and women who want to, again, take their health and fitness to the ultimate level, not get some of the way, not lose 20 pounds, not do the normal fitness bullshit, but like literally take your body and get to the next level. And if you want to see some of those transformations, I should have put them on the website, but you can go over to John Madsen Official, my Instagram. On one of the highlight stories, it says transformations, and you can just scroll through. What we do is go all the way. If you want to know what that might look like for you in 2021, we're offering a free blueprint game plan session. So you can go to the website, johnmadsen.com. One of the tabs says the AF CEO Project. Right there, you can book a call directly with my team, and we're going to dive into your situation, figure out what's keeping you stuck, figure out why you haven't figured this shit out already, and see if we can't help you. There's multiple options, guys. So if health and fitness is something you want to do and you've been listening to this show and you wonder what it would feel like to work with us, definitely schedule a call. See what my coaches have to say for your specific situation, because everything we do is customized. And then if we want to work together and you fit what we're looking for, we might ask you to join. So go ahead and do that. We're already having an influx of people because of the resolutions, which is fine. I love people to refocus up on their goals. It's always a good thing, but most people talk shit. Most people think big things are going to happen, and they continue to do the same shit they've done year after year, and they continue to show up mediocre. And if you listen to this show, you know that the one thing that I do is I let the fear of mediocrity drive me. You wouldn't be listening to this show. I would not resonate with you if you didn't have that intrinsic feeling that you want to fucking win and you want to win big. In 2020, in a really weird year, I had one of the greatest years of my life financially. In my fitness, I was the fittest I've ever been. I felt the best I've ever felt. I upgraded my mindset completely. I upgraded my fitness completely, upgraded my business completely. And there was a lot of stuff that went on. Now I'm going to share with you a formula that is going to help you take or make 2021 be the same thing for you. There's a couple things we can do. And always remember, simplicity is key here. Making some complex plan is the enemy to execution. So when I speak as simple as I possibly can so that there's massive amounts of understanding and massive amounts of action. Because at the end of the day, guys, you can write all this stuff down. You can hit pause. You can hit rewind. You might be at the gym and you think, oh my God, I gotta pause and put this in my notes. But if you don't do anything with it, it's just sitting there. It's just sitting there. And one day, hopefully one day you'll start showing up. So for those of you who I am talking to, who are born winners, who are driven, who have that personality trait that growth and expansion fills them up and stagnancy brings them down, I want to share with you my game plan and 5 things that you can do this year or think about before 2020 comes to an end, and for you to do for the duration of 2021 if you have ridiculous goals. So let's dive in, guys. The first thing that I would tell anybody If you worked with me personally, the very first thing that I dive into is we have to upgrade your desire. I can't give you heart. I cannot give you heart. If you think about playing sports, or if you were ever on a sports team, if you like sports, or if you like science, or if you liked reading books, whatever you liked, right? And whatever you wanted to do on your free time. For me, it was sports. I wanted to practice. It didn't matter if it was basketball, baseball, football. Like, I could not wait to go get the new pair of cleats for one season to end and the new season to begin. I could not wait to go to practice. There was kids that was just dropped off at practice where their parents thought it was babysitter's club. And those kids would rather just throw rocks in the outfield instead of catch pop flies and work on their crow hop and work on everything else. You know what I'm saying? That desire for me to be great in sport drove me. I always talk about desire preceding discipline. So many people want to point to discipline. So many people just want to act like they're not disciplined enough. But I would argue that they have not upgraded their desire. So if you're sitting there and you're looking at your bank account and you're like, fuck, here's another year. It looks the same or even worse. What am I going to do? And you have this feeling like you want more, but every single year you don't know how to put the pieces together. Or it's the same thing in your fitness. Every year you come out with these aspirations that you're going to go to the gym, or you buy that Peloton, or you're going to get a Peloton and it's going to sit there under the tree and you're going to have a big red bow on it and you think you're going to ride it 5 days a week. And again, this is the year. But yet every single year, midway through, you look at yourself in the mirror, or you catch a glimpse of a photo that your wife took with you at the pool or you on vacation. And you're like, who is that guy? Who is that guy? Right? And for a moment, your desire sparks to be somebody different. For you to open up your laptop, hit your Wells Fargo, or hit your Chase Bank, or hit your whatever bank you bank with, and see more zeros. But you never get there. And the first reason why that is because you don't desire it enough. It's not what you think about all day long. What you think about all day long, you become. You have to obsess over the things that you want. That desire has to ooze out of you like you're a kid on a baseball team and you want to be the star. You want to be great. We can talk about this shit all day long. I can give you strategy all day long. But if you don't completely desire it, you're not going to put the work in. So when it comes to fitness, you literally have to desire whatever it is you desire. Your doctor can't desire it for you. Your wife can't desire it for you. Your kids can't desire it for you. You have to desire it yourself. I want to be strong. I want to be powerful. I've wanted that since I was 16 years old. I read every muscle magazine there was. I was trying to stuff protein shakes down when they tasted like shit when I was 16 years old, no matter what, right before bed. Like, I wanted this physique and performance driven by this insecurity about being skinny and weak from the time I was 16. It's still with me. I'm 37 years old. That desire oozes out of me in terms of fitness. That desire oozes out of me in terms of building this podcast up. That desire oozes out of me in terms of making my business better. What are some things you can do? Some of you guys I've talked to think your life is pretty good. Got a nice house, nice car, nice job, right? It's probably maybe a little bit upgraded life from that of your peers. And you can get very stagnant in that place. Your environment is one in which you're kind of a bigger fish in a small pond. One of the ways that I spark my desire is I put myself in different situations where I'm just a tiny fish in a big ocean. I'm a tiny fish in a big ocean. If I'm getting too big and I think my shit is pretty tight, I go insert myself into a room where guys are looking at my business numbers and going, like, you're the poorest dude in this room. You're the poorest dude in this room, not in a bad way, but listen to us. We're going to show you how. And then when I'm driving home after being in that room, that desire, that fire is lit again because I'm a competitor. I'm a competitor, and I'm not competing against the dudes. I'm competing against myself. The conversation is going, John, you're capable of way more. You could do way better. You could impact more people. What are you waiting for? That desire has got to be there. Guys, if we can stop this podcast right here, you can stop thinking about your goals right here and now. If you don't have those goals and they don't light a fire under you, if you have no desire, your discipline's not going to be there. You're just going to fuck around. Fitness, business, doesn't matter. Next, you got to upgrade your why. You got to upgrade your why. So if the first one's upgrade your desire or upgrade your want, the next one is upgrade your why. Why is that important? Why is that? And I just alluded to my reason, being strong and powerful, driven by insecurity at 16 years old, getting fucking embarrassed in the weight room, making a vow to myself that I'd be strong and powerful one day. That's part of my why. I can go back there in a second. I know what that feels like. But why do I want to succeed? See, this question is weird because sometimes me and my wife have this conversation. We're like, why do we want it? Why do we want it? What is it? What is it? 10 million? Is it 100 million? Is it a billion? Like, what is it? Is it 100 million podcast downloads? Like, what am I chasing? Right? And here's a scary one, because if you're not careful, you keep thinking it's a thing. You keep thinking it's a six pack. You keep thinking that it is the zeros in the bank account. See, I might talk about that stuff in my desire, but the why is very important. I already realize that this game, it's not going to be won when I look in the mirror and see a six pack. I might be winning, but the game is not won then. Because every day the sun comes up and I got to do it again. Every day the sun comes up and I got to do it again. I hit a goal on a piece of paper. Guess what? The sun comes up and then there's that feeling, now what? Right? And if you're thinking like, oh, that sounds terrible. It's like a little rat race that you never get out of. It is. If you think that the $1 million is going to make you happy or that the six pack is going to make you happy, you're tying two different things. Happiness is a state of mind. That goal is just a goal. What I want to do, and the reason why I want what I want, and the reason that I want to succeed at the highest level, is because I have this why in the form of, I want to see what I'm capable of. I want to see how far I can go. I want to see what my fullest potential looks like. I want to make mistakes and learn from them. I want to have influence. It's not about a number and it's not about the six pack. I want to understand what my truest potential looks, feels, and performs like at all time. And I want to appreciate the fact that this is a whole process, that it's not just about hitting the goal. It's not just about hitting the goal. That's what people don't understand. Because you could drop whatever number is on my goal sheet down in terms of finance, and you could just print that money and give it to me. And some of you be like, that's awesome. I'm just going to go to the beach and chill all day. I don't want that shit. That means nothing to me. I want to put my energy and have that energy exchange into value that I give to the world and that I get back. I want to see and feel and taste my fullest potential. I don't know how to have another why. I don't know how to put that why into somebody else. Because some of you, if your health is shitty and you look in the mirror, you keep trying to think of these whys. Well, I want to do it for my kids. I want to do it for my wife. I want to do it because my doctor says my blood pressure, I need to do exercise to get my blood pressure down or my cholesterol down. You see, your whys are weak. Your whys are fucking weak. You keep trying to create whys for other people out of this noble selflessness that's fucking keeping you stuck. You should want it just for the sake of seeing what you're fucking capable of and feeling disgraceful if you go through this one life not ever knowing the person that you should have been, the person that you could have been, the person that had that massive impact. If that doesn't drive you and you want to be mediocre, then it's okay. But stop wondering why you don't achieve the things you say you want, and stop wondering why you keep thinking that your discipline is the problem, because you're fighting your willpower and you have no full leverage on yourself. You don't know why you want it. Why I want it doesn't resonate with you. But for the people listening to this podcast, that why does resonate. That is enough. I don't need a million different whys. I just need to know that I'm fulfilled and I feel alive when I'm growing. So you need to upgrade your why. You got to ask yourself that shit. Number 3, you got to upgrade your perspective. You have to upgrade your perspective. Your perspective is everything. We're living in alternate universes. People are living in alternate universes. They are shaped by their stories. They are shaped by their beliefs. They're shaped by their memories. They are shaped by the stuff that's in their unconscious that they're not even aware of. So that we can see the same event and I can perceive it different and live in a different reality, and you can perceive it different and live in a different reality. I can come from the perspective of possibility. How is this possible? How can I do that? How can I solve this problem? And you can be coming from the perspective of problems and start stacking problem after problem after problem, affecting your emotional state and affecting your habits and behaviors and ultimately your outcome. Your perspective is everything. You need to upgrade your perspective. You need to come from a solution frame and not a problem frame. You need to start waking up with the question, how can I do this? How can I do this? This is what I want. This is why I want it. Now, how can I? I don't need to know the how, but you just keep asking that question and it's going to show up. Your perspective is everything. Your perspective shapes your reality. Your perspective shapes your outcome. You need to upgrade your perspective. Number 4, you need to flex your persistence muscle and courage muscle more. You need to flex on your persistence muscle as much as you go to the gym and flex your other muscles. Persistence. One of my favorite books in the world, The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino. Over and over in the book, an ancient scroll said, I will persist until I succeed. I burned that shit into my memory. I was thinking about my superpower. I think I talked about this on another show. And I thought about how I made it to the NFL without ever playing high school football. There's a lot of things there. But you know what? When I got to junior college day 1, I sucked. I sucked at football. I had ability, yes, but I sucked. Year 2, I sucked. Year 3, I sucked. Year 4, I started coming into my own. I was persistent and I had courage because I was willing to suck. I was willing to go through the suck. I was willing to go to the unknown. I was willing to put myself out there. I was willing to fail and to learn, and I was willing to persist. Same thing in business. People can now come to me and it's like, John, oh my God, like your business has taken off. It seemingly happened overnight. No, it didn't. I've been in this fitness game for over a decade. I've persisted through almost 3 gym closures. I've persisted through a ton of different stuff. I've persisted through the thought of just getting a real job more times than you would care to know about. That persistence, every single day I went outside and I took another swing at the tree with an axe. And then the next day and I did it again. And every time I didn't feel like it, I did it again. Some days I didn't do it, but over time I kept showing up day after day after day after day after day. And now I'm here because I flexed on that persistence muscle, because that was burned into me. I will persist until I succeed. I will persist until I succeed. You see what that presupposes? That I will succeed. I will succeed. It's only a matter of time. I will succeed. And so will you if you can flex on that persistence muscle and stop fucking quitting. Whether it's fitness or business, stop fucking quitting. Flex that courage muscle too. Go into the unknown. And then number 5, I'm going to leave it at this. Create a championship routine. Create a championship routine. My championship routine is something that centers me. My championship routine is how I show up and win the day, every day. And if I don't win a day, not everyone's going to win the day, but my championship routine, when I'm on it, changes my life. And this has been like the centerpiece of 2020 success story for John. My championship routine starts with 20 minutes meditation in the morning, first thing. My championship routine right after that meditation is 20 minutes of reading, something inspiring, something that I want to fill my brain with. Why? Because I'm feeding my perspective. After that, 20 minutes, I've talked about this over and over, so I'm just going to go through it in case you're a new listener. 20 minutes of focusing on my goals. See, here is where I tie in the want. What do I want? I have a running list of wants and desires. Material things, experiences, all types of things, because I don't work coming from the old, well, I don't need this. That's not going to make me happy. That's not what I said. Need and want, you guys get it messed up. I didn't ask you if you had it, if that would make you happy. When I do these exercises, I don't ask myself if I had this thing, if it would make me happy or not. It's two different things. I'm happy anyways. So if I could have whatever I want, why wouldn't I want it? The world is abundant. See, I work this abundance muscle, and I spend time on it every single day, upgrading those wants and desires. I have a gratitude list that I go through and I journal this stuff, and I start working through the whys. I start working through the perspectives. Then I go to the gym. So that championship routine for me is that first hour of working on me. That second hour is still working on me in the physical realm. Then I get to work and I have a schedule, right? I have a schedule for maximum productivity. You have to create a routine for you that works for you. At this season in your life, what are you going to do? How are you going to upgrade this want? How are you going to upgrade your why? How are you going to change your perspective? You have to spend time in your own head. You have to get still. Creating that championship routine out the gate is going to be key. That's one of the biggest things we teach in our program. We're not just a fitness program. You can go Google and YouTube fitness stuff. That stuff doesn't work, or everyone would be fucking jacked and tan. It doesn't work. It hasn't worked for you. You've tried a million different things and you're still where you are. So what we do is we change all this stuff and we create championship routine, and we focus on the things that you might not think that we need to be focused on, and then everything changes. That's the magic. So if you want to come out in 2021 and you want to think like, how can I 2x my income, or how can I 2x or 5x or 10x my revenue? Or how can I look, feel, and perform like I did when I was 20 years old? This is the year. The good thing about New Year's is it's a reset. You can start to focus right now on what you want to create in 2021. The problem with resolutions is 99% of you don't ever fucking follow through. And you don't follow through because you think about it for 1 second and then you just toss it aside, and your life gets busy and hectic and you fall right back into the patterns, because we live our patterns. So if you're going to change your life, you have to change your patterns. We have to think about it. We have to be about it. We have to act on it. We can't just do one. We just can't do one of those. You can't just sit in a room and think about it all day. You have to act it out. So one of the things I always tell all the people in my program, and what I've told all the kids that I used to train that were trying to get those college scholarships, is don't tell me, show me. Don't tell me about it, show me about it. See, I'm telling you about it on this podcast because you need to hear it. But if you watch my actions, I back it up every single day. So the people in my program, it's like, you can talk all you want, but I'm going to see your action. I'm going to see what you do, because what you do is what you believe about yourself. And that's a whole different topic. Because if you think one thing and you do a different thing, your body is acting out what your unconscious beliefs about yourself is. In 2021, if you don't do anything else, you change the relationship with yourself. If you upgrade all these 5 things like I just talked about, if you upgrade your want and you leverage your why, and you upgrade your perspective and you flex on that persistence and courage muscle, and you start to put a routine together and you follow it, guess what that does? That upgrades your belief system and your self-identity. That upgrades your belief system about you. That upgrades your relationship with you, because everything in this life is going to be dependent on how you relate to yourself. I want you to win in 2021 bigger than you've ever won. But in order to do that, you have to think differently and you have to show up differently. And I know you can do it.
Thank you so much for joining us for another amazing episode of The Show with John Madsen. The greatest compliment that you could give us is liking, loving, and sharing this episode with all of your friends. So please go to iTunes, leave us a 5-star rating and review, and then share it online with everyone that you know. Make sure to tag John as well. He loves to hear from listeners of the show. The links for all of his socials and iTunes are in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to engage John for anything related to his coaching, consulting, or programs, please visit johnmadsen.com for everything you'd need to know on how to engage with John offline. And lastly, thank you for your time, your attention, and your consideration. This is The Show.